Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world, and at whatever time of day you may be watching this. My name is Alistair, and this is my channel, Basic Books. And today we're going to do Read What You Own Thursday. It's a new series that I think I'm starting, where I pick a book, a series of books, or an author, or a uh, collected comic anthology or book, and I'll talk about that for Thursday. Um, so, yes, today I shall be talking about Juliet E. McKenna and her Green Man series of books, or I will be talking about a Green Man series of books that I have read so far. But first of all, a little bit about McKenna. She was born in Lincolnshire in 1965, so she's the same age as me. She studied Greek and Roman history and literature at St Hilda's College at Oxford. And after college, she had a career in personnel management before changing to work in book selling. She also fitted in becoming a mother around her writing. She is considered one of the British boom of fantasy writers. So this would be a boom around the last 20 years, 20 or 30 years. I came across these books um, through a friend of mine who is also an author, JC Bedford. She's a science fiction author. And she recommended the Green Man's Heir to me many years ago, about nearly 10 years ago, I should imagine. And I was completely taken in by it. It's a beautiful book, great stories. Um, and really, really well written. Juliet McKenna has written other series. Wish I could tell you what they were, but I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, yeah. So she's written a series of books for called The Tales of Einarin. I think I've said that right. Also the Alderbrechen Compass books, that's 4 books, and the Chronicles of the Liscari Revolution, 3 books. That's a trilogy. I've never read any of those, so I wouldn't be able to comment on those. She's written a series of books called The Hadrumal Crisis. Now, I am supposing that they are all fantasy. So I have 4 in the Green Man. So I've got the Green Man's Heir, the Green Man's Foe, the Green Man's Silence, and the Green Man's Challenge. I got these 4 books. There are another 4 in the series, I think, or 5 that I haven't had. These are published by. They're published by. What's it called? Wizard's Tower Press. Okay, which is English. You can go to their site at wizardstowerpress.com and you can order your books there. I was really taken in with these books. I read the first one. Maybe it's because I had a dearth of reading these kinds of books, but this was the first one. This was the first one I read back in the day, and it concerns a a man called Daniel McMahon. Now, Daniel McMahon is a handyman. He's he's very skilled in woodworking and carpentry, and he is also the son of the Green Man, apparently. This is why it's called the Green Man there. Okay, there's some connection with the Green Man. But in the first book, he gets drawn to Derbyshire, where there has been a murder, and he's working on a house. He has no he's of no fixed abode. Is our Daniel, and he likes to keep a secret. He doesn't want anybody to know who he is, or know or find out what he is. But what it really happens is interesting in these books is how can you stay hidden in today's society where everything that you do is under scrutiny, whether it's your phone, your internet activity. You can, if you're not careful, you can end up being followed digitally wherever you go, and to me that's very interesting, and it's very interesting the clash between the 21st century and old time myth. So obviously the Green Man is heavily involved in these books. So in this one, 100 years ago, a man with a secret could travel a few hundred miles and give himself a new name and life story. No one would be any the wiser, as long as he didn't give anyone a reason to start asking questions. These days, that's not so easy, with everybody on social media and CCTV on every street corner. So Daniel McMahon keeps his head down and keeps himself to himself. But now a girl has been murdered, and the Derbyshire police are taking a closer look at a loner who travels from place to place, picking up work as he goes. Worse, Dan realises the murder involves the hidden world he was born into. When no one else can see the truth, who will see justice done? Okay, so yeah, I mean it bowls along at a very. I mean, I read this in 2 days, and it's what? It's 365 pages. 365 pages, the actual story. So I read it in a couple of days. I couldn't put it down. Well, I bought this, and then I went out, or I ordered online this one, The Green Man's Foe, which is the second in the series. This one is even more interesting because, as we find out in the first book, Daniel McMahon is I mean, he is a dryad's son, so his father was human, his mother was a dryad, so this is his connection to the Green Man. So when I said son of the Green Man, he's a son of that world, and he has to try and navigate through life, having these powers that he's inherited from his mother, and he's living in the 21st century. So in this one, when you do a good job for someone, there's a strong chance they'll offer you more work or recommend you elsewhere. So Daniel McMahon isn't particularly surprised when his boss's architect brother asks for his help on a historic house renovation in the Cotswolds. Except Dan's a dryad's son, and he soon realises there's a whole lot more going on. Ancient malice is stirring, and it's made an alliance in the modern world. The Green Man expects Dan to put an end to this threat. Seeing the danger, Dan's forced to agree. The problem is, He's alone in a place he doesn't know, 100 miles or more away from any allies of his own. So yeah, I mean, this once this brings that forward and we start seeing an overall pattern of what's going on. I mean, I love. I mean, these covers, they're done by a chap called Ben Baldwin, and I think he does a really great job of this. Um, in this one, Dan meets his future lady love, who is a swan maiden. It's not really spoiling it for you. So this is the third one, the Green Man's Silence. Um, this one, Dan has always been a loner. He can see the supernatural alongside everyday reality, and that's not something he can easily share. Perhaps visiting East Anglia to stay with Fennel Wiccan and her family will be different. So Fennel is the Swan Maiden, and they are embarking on a relationship. They have their own ties to the uncanny, but something is amiss in the depths of the fens. Creatures Dan has never encountered outside folk tales are growing uneasy, even hostile. He soon learns they have good reason. Can he help them before they retaliate and disaster strikes the unsuspecting locals? Can the Green Man help Dan in a landscape dominated by water for centuries, where the oaks were cut down eons ago? Okay, so I think that the East Anglia and the Fens and the East Coast is fertile ground for magic, horror, fantasy. And the last one I have is the Green Man's Challenge. This is the last one I have. This one came out in 2021, so I'm 5 years behind on this one. So yeah, this one it continues to grow the cast, shall we say, and it starts once again. The pattern that is coming out in the books is the overarching story is becoming more and more apparent. Once upon a time, giants walked this land. So says everyone from Henry of Monmouth to William Blake. This ancient threat is stirring in the Wiltshire twilight, up on the chalk downs. Can Dan meet this new challenge when he can only find half-forgotten fairy tales to guide him? Will the other local supernatural inhabitants see him, or the giant, as a friend or foe? Okay, so yeah, so these 4 books that I have, I mean, I really need to get back into reading this. I need to get the further books. There are 4 more in the series. It's the Green Man's Gift, the Green Man's Quarry, the Green Man's War, and the Green Man's Holiday. So those 4 I'm going to have to bite the bullet and buy because I really enjoy this series. I haven't read it for a while, maybe a year or 2. I finished the last one, but I mean it's really well worth investing some time and money in. It's interesting because Juliet, she does an interesting thing, but she goes to different parts of the country, and she uses the folklore of those areas, and weaves them into the story of the Green Man, and brings in mythical creatures. We have swan maidens, we have giants, we have goblins, witches, warlocks, but they're not. It's not twee. So I mean, it can be badly done. I mean, I mean, it's very much rooted in the 21st century, and she's a really cracking author as well. I mean, she keeps the story bowling along, interesting characterisation, and she knows enough about mythology and legend and folklore uh, to to imbue the stories with that. I don't know. It's a British thing. I mean, I keep going back to Alan Garner and Suzanne Cooper, but not only Alan Garner and Suzanne Cooper, but J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis as well. Uh, had a knack for this, but they tap into this British sense of fantasy, something that only we, I think, have in any kind of overarching uh, uh, knowledge that we seem beauty. I mean, if you're of a certain age, especially our age, that we're coming towards the end of our lives, and but we know these things. We've heard of goblins. We know stories. I can tell you any number of stories uh, around Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire and Buckinghamshire, where I live, and we're able to imbue these stories with this darkness. And it's one of the things that, I mean, there are a lot of things that I find wrong with the country, but there are an awful lot of things that I find right with the country, and this is one of them. So, yes, uh, the Green Man series by Juliet E. McKenna is well worth reading. You have my recommendation, and it's 100%. So, thank you very much, everybody, for listening and sticking with me now. Please like and subscribe. If you could share, that would be great. And I hope to see you again soon.